I welcome you back on this Thursday to These Things Are Written. So far in our text that we've been looking at, we've had the foretelling, I should say, of the birth of John the Baptist, the angel appearing to Mary and Mary responding in obedience. And we pick it up from there in verse 39. In those days, Mary arose and went with haste into the hill country to the town in Judah. And she entered the house of Zechariah and greeted Elizabeth. And when Elizabeth heard the greeting of Mary, the baby leapt in her womb. And Elizabeth was filled with the Holy Spirit, and she exclaimed with a loud cry, "Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb. And why is this granted to me, that the mother of my Lord should come to me? For behold, when the sound of your greeting came to my ears, the baby in my womb leapt for joy. And blessed is she who believes that there would be a fulfillment of what was spoken to her from the Lord." A couple things to note in this part. In those days, Mary arose and went with haste. You could almost say immediately. She didn't dilly-dally around. She went to see that sign that had been told her. Although she went with obedience, I believe she went trusting that that is what she would see there. And then the great story of how the baby leapt in the womb. He was filled with the Holy Spirit from conception. Remember, that is talked about back in the prediction to Zechariah, that he would be filled with the Holy Spirit from conception. And when he heard the voice, he leapt in the womb, knowing that it was the mother of the Lord who was there. Very important passage that we have at this point. It says then that Elizabeth was filled with the Holy Spirit. And I'm going to bring up what she said so you can look at it as I talk about it a little bit, because it's kind of interesting. Really, all that it talks about is being blessed. The first verse 42 and 43, blessed are you among women, blessed is the fruit of your womb, blessed is Mary, blessed would be Jesus. And then it really talks about her blessing. And why is this granted to me, that the mother of the Lord should come to me? She is blessed because the mother of God came to see her. For behold, when the sound of your greeting came to my ears, the baby in my womb leapt for joy, connecting not just the women, but also the children as well. And then it kind of wraps up to the blessing to Mary once again. And blessed is she who believed that there would be a fulfillment of what was spoken to her. Blessed is she, blessed is Mary, that she believed this great and awesome promise. Now, these two stories at this point, these two birth announcements are intermingling, aren't they? They're connecting to each other. And this is what I find kind of interesting. Both of them are miraculous conceptions. Very different circumstances, right? One was a woman that was barren. One was a woman that was a virgin, but they're both miraculous conceptions. Both were given the names to call the child by the angel. The angel told Zechariah to call him John. The angel told Mary to call him Jesus. John leapt when he was in the presence of Jesus. And by the way, I think that's a really strong indication of what God sees as the beginning of life. It is not when they are born, when they reach viability, as it's been talked about in the Supreme Court oral arguments in the case. A life truly does begin at conception. John leapt in the presence of Jesus. Jesus, at this point, was very early on in the process in the mother's womb, but yet at that point, the Bible sees it as a person. that can have the Holy Spirit, because from conception, again, John the Baptist had the Holy Spirit. And they prepare, John the Baptist, the oldest by 6 months or so, prepared the way for the other, prepared the way for Jesus. And these two lives would continue to mesh and be connected as we move forward in the story as well. Tomorrow, we're going to start on the Magnificat. We're going to look at that over 2 days, so I invite you to come back and we will look at that, the beginning part of it, and slowly go through that to help us understand it. God bless.